Hi there, my name is Robbie Hurst. I'm a CFI with Monarch Air flying out of North Texas Regional. Today I'm in Mesquite. I'm in their FBO filming, so if you hear some background noise, know that I'm in a busy airport and doing my best. So please don't mind the background. Today we're going to have a multi-engine discussion. We've been doing some videos over VFR sectional charts, but today I want to dive into a little bit of a different topic and talk about multi-engines operations, particularly the critical engine. This is going to be a huge piece of your check ride and something that just as a multi-engine pilot that you need to be aware of and proficient with. So we're going to be talking about the critical engine. What is the critical engine? The critical engine is the engine which, if failed, would have the most negative impact on the aircraft's performance and handling. So if you lose this engine, it's going to have, of your two engines, assuming you're in a light twin, of your two engines, this engine of failure is going to be the worst of the two scenarios. And we're going to talk about why that is. So we're going to, in order to remember that, we're going to have a acronym, because we're in aviation, and of course everything is acronyms. So we're going to have acronym P.A.S.T. So we're going to have P.A.S.T. And P.A.S.T. is going to define what makes a critical engine. So we've got P factor. We have accelerated, excuse me while I look at my computer, make sure I spell it right, accelerated slipstream. We have spiraling slipstream. And we have torque. So, what does all this mean? So, getting into it, P factor is, you have already discussed P factor a little bit in some of your single engine studies, but it affects us a little differently in light twins. So, for example, I'm going to draw us a little airplane here. We're going to have the tail here. We're going to have our wings here. And we've got one prop. I'm going to make those a little bigger. We've got two props. So we've got an engine on either side. And assuming that you're in a conventional twin, so both propellers are turning clockwise, you're not going to be producing equal lift over your prop. So rather than the thrust being made from the center of the prop, it's actually going to happen just to the right of the prop. So it's going to happen just about here is going to be your most amount of thrust coming from the prop. And that's because the descending blade is taking a bigger chunk of air, taking a bigger bite of air than the ascending blade. And so we'll notice that I want another color. That if we take a look at the distance between the center of the aircraft here and the distance to the right P factor center of thrust and the left P factor center of thrust, just center of thrust, you don't have to say P factor, but center of thrust, the arm, remember arm and weight and balance, the distance is going to be further on that right engine. So think about if you're trying to loosen a nut or something like that. If you have a longer lever, you have more leverage. Same thing here. So the arm is longer, it's going to have more leverage in order to yaw the aircraft to the right. So in this case, the left engine would be our critical engine. So I'm just going to do CE for critical engine. Because if we lost that left engine, that right engine is going to try to yaw us more than if we had lost our left engine, because it's more centered to the aircraft. The next concept that I want to talk about, so I'm going to do P factor above our drawing here, and then we're going to come down a little bit and we're going to do accelerated slipstream. So spell it out. I am the absolute worst at spelling, so I apologize if you ever see in my videos that I misspell something. So we're going to draw out our little aircraft again. So we've got fuselage, our stabilizer, and our wings. Okay, so we've got our props here, and this is going to be a little cheating. I could have used the previous image here, but I wanted to draw it again. So because of P factor, because our center of thrust is to the right of the prop, we've already discussed that about P factor, that center of thrust is also going to have more air coming over the wing. So if we take a look at this drawing, the further away from the center of thrust you get, the less airflow is coming over the wing. What happens whenever air goes over a wing? We produce lift. And so with both engines operating, it's producing equal amount of lift on either side. But with one of them inoperative, we're going to again talk about that arm here. And we're going to do an arm to center lift there and center lift here. And our arm, I'm going to do it down here so you can take another look at it. On the right engine, again, is longer than the one on the left, because the left one is obviously closer to the center of the aircraft. So we're producing more lift over the wing further out on the right engine. Now, what's that going to happen? Because of that arm, so because of P factor, it's going to want to torque to the left. Because of the accelerated slipstream, it's going to want to bank to the left. So we've got two motions trying to happen with the critical engine so far. We've got torque happening because of P factor, and it's wanting to bank into the inoperative engine because of accelerated slipstream. So again, we have our left engine is our critical engine. All right, so P.A.S. We've got spiraling slipstream. So we've got spiraling. I probably didn't spell that right. Slipstream. We're going to change the color back to black. We're going to draw our aircraft again. Have our tail. Have our wing. And we've got our props. So our spiraling slipstream, as air comes off of the prop, it will spiral down and to the right. And so as air comes off, we've got air spiraling off like this. So you'll notice that the air coming off of our left engine is going to be hitting our rudder. And the more airflow that we have coming over our rudder, the more rudder authority that we have, the more that we're able to control our yaw, our yaw. And so if we were to lose our left engine, we no longer have that airflow going over the rudder, and this slipstream is just spiraling slipstream is just coming off into the air. There has no effect. But if we were to lose our right engine but keep our left engine, that slipstream coming into our rotor would actually help us be able to correct for any yawing effect. So in this case, again, if we were to lose an engine, our left engine would be the critical engine, because the way the airflow is working over the tail, it would give us more rudder authority, more directional control, and without it, we lose that airflow. And last, we've got torque. So we've got so again, we're going to draw our little airplane. Okay, so this actually, disregard that airplane. We're going to redraw that airplane. So this time we're going to have our wing. We're going to have our props. And in this case, we're looking at the back of the aircraft. So we're going to say back view. Back view. How do you spell view? I before E except after C, and all the other exceptions. View. All right, so both of our engines are, actually I'm going to draw our center line here. So we've got our tail here, and our fuselage there. So our engines are spinning to the right. And as they're spinning, there is an equal but opposite reaction spinning backwards. So we're going to, blue is prop spinning, and we're going to say green is torque. So the opposite torque is this way. So for every action, there is an opposite and equal reaction. So as the engines are, or as the props are turning to the right, they're constantly trying to turn the aircraft to the left. And so you'll notice that if we were to lose our right engine, our torque is coming back into the aircraft, trying to push us into the operative engine. Our left engine would be operating, and our torque is trying to bank us into our operating engine. If we lose our right engine, however, the torque is coming into, I'm getting into the weeds. So we're going to go. We lose our right engine. You'll notice that with our left engine still operating, the torque is torquing into the operative engine. So the torque is pushing us away from our inoperative engine, keeping from the banking tendencies that we were talking about earlier. However, if we lose our left engine instead, notice that our right engine, our green arrow, is pointing towards our inoperative engine. So as we've lost that engine, it's going to try to torque us into the inoperative engine. Just like that accelerated slipstream is trying to push us into the inoperative engine, so is our torque. So we've got 4 factors defining our critical engine. We've got our P factor, our accelerated slipstream, our spiraling slipstream, and torque, all working towards the left engine being our critical engine. Now, not all aircraft have critical engines. Some have counter-rotating props to where one turns to the left engine's going to turn to the right, and the right engine's going to turn to the left so that all of these forces are coming from the center of the aircraft. So if you had counter-rotating props, all of these forces would be coming from the center. And your torque would be the same. It would always torque into the operative engine. So we'll draw a torque line if it was a counter-rotating engine. So not all aircraft have critical engines, but if yours does, you need to know that, and these are the reasons why it's going to be a critical engine. So it's always important to know whether you've got a conventional twin or both of them turning clockwise, or if you've got counter-rotating props where one is turning clockwise and the other is turning counterclockwise. Kind of got into the weeds a little bit there. I hope all of that made sense. If you have any questions, my cell phone number is below. Please feel free to reach out, and we can have a further discussion. Again, my name is Robbie Hurst. Would love to help you out any way I can. Have a great day.